So, on my first video to Malice Rebel News 2, where I basically mocked him satirically, I got some comments basically saying that, oh, he's just trying to survive in a capitalist society, don't judge him. Yeah, when I lived out on my own, I couldn't exactly afford, Hensy. And I didn't have a YouTube channel that got me $4 a video. So I thought I'd make a serious response to Malice Rebel News 2, that way they can't claim I'm not making an argument.
Okay, continuing with Defend DPRK Week 2.
So, since we're defending things that really shouldn't be defended, how about Defend AIDS Week? Hey ladies, do you want to lose weight? Like to eat? How about you fuck Magic Johnson? Watch the pounds just melt away.
What we have is a little bit of a criticism of the claim of cult of personality in North Korea. But look at some of these so-called examples of a cult of personality. One of them is, take a look at the criticism, oh, there's statues of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, so that means there's a cult of personality because there's statues of them.
Yeah, because I'm sure that that's what everyone says. Oh, it's just because they have statues. And it has nothing to do with all the images of Kim Il-sung that were floating around. It has nothing to do with the fact that, you know, his people literally worshipped him and believed he did all this crazy stuff like control the weather. It's not like they believed that because his personality cult inspired the personality cult of, who is that Romanian communist dictator? Nicolae. I cannot pronounce the last name. Maybe they also think that because the Korean Workers' Party controls pretty much all the media in that country. And that's how they can, you know, promote stupid, nonsensical, backwards-ass, retarded views of history. Which you're about to show us.
Yes, there are statues of them. Like these statues?
Mount Rushmore is a sculpture, not a statue. But hey, I'm just being a douche.
Two statues of founding people of the country as opposed to the entire side of a mountain for 4 people who founded the country.
Hey everybody, guess what? Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt were founding fathers alive in 1787. You know, they lived under all of it. They helped write the Constitution. You know, they were some of the first presidents of the United States, and you know, they were around and saw the travesty of the Articles of Confederation and all of that. Yeah. No, wait, Lincoln, 1860 Civil War, Theodore Roosevelt was after that. But I don't know, maybe that evil socialized American public education is just giving me a warped delusion of history.
Someone like Kim Il-sung, who led the Korean People's Army against aggression by NATO and South Korea when they invaded the country, which is a tremendous, huge part of the catalyzing event that which gave birth to their country.
It's great to see those who went through Canada's education system doing so well. One, Kim Il-sung did not found North Korea. North Korea basically came into existence because from 1905 until the end of World War II, Japan was occupying Korea. And so, after World War II, it was split along the 38th parallel. Soviet Union got control of the northern half, United States got control of the southern half. That's how Kim Il-sung got in charge. He got put in charge of the government that was set up by the Soviet Union. Which leads me to my second point, the Korean War was not the catalyst for the birth of North Korea. North Korea existed before the Korean War. And finally, the whole NATO? Are you serious? NATO? It was the United Nations, the one time, I believe, the United Nations Security Council did anything. And you think it's NATO? Just shut up. Here's how this all happened. On June 25th, 1950, a little crash course in the Korean War for everybody. North Korea crosses the 38th parallel. Now, whoever fired first in the conflict, I'm not going to say because it's up for debate. There's sources on either side that say South Korea did it or North Korea did it. But we don't know that. But North Korea invades South Korea, steamrolls over their forces, captures Seoul, and I believe it was like 3 days because the Republic of Korea's troops were very ill-equipped, very ill-trained, and compared to North Korea's troops who served during the Chinese Civil War, who had Soviet T-34 tanks, and had a small air force, they were better trained and better equipped. They were more battle-hardened and everything. And even with the United States' help, South Korea's forces and everything gets pushed back to Pusan, and they set up the Pusan perimeter, and then the United States go to the United Nations and to the National Security Council, which is a great place to go if you're in need of desperate help. But the Soviet Union held the veto on the panel. But what was interesting is the Soviet Union wasn't there. They were boycotting the United Nations because of the whole Chinese Civil War and how that played out and how that was handled. The United Nations gets involved in the Korean War. It wasn't just the United States. You had places like South Africa and Luxembourg involved. And then, you know, the United States pushes all the way back up to the 38th parallel. They decide to go over the 38th parallel, then they decide, oh, let's go all the way up to the Yalu River, pretty much. And then China gets involved, and then we get pushed back, and then we push back a little bit, and we pretty much settle around the 38th parallel. And then after 2 years, roughly, in 1953, we just said, enough, let's just have a truce. And so South Korea and North Korea are still technically at war with each other. So, yeah, Korean War history boiled down in like 2 minutes. So I think we can all realize that he's sugarcoating it very well. And so it's just hilarious to watch somebody who sits there and proclaims to be an expert on the DPRK and sit there and talk about how great they are, who doesn't understand their government, doesn't understand their actions, doesn't understand why people have issues with them, and just doesn't even understand their own history, and doesn't even understand the ideology that he's trying to push out, as I showed in my little satire video. I just don't get it. How this person has the amount of subscribers that he does, and has the amount of people who watch him as he does. And so the only reason I bothered making this video is so that people who are his fanboys can't sit there and say, I'm not making an argument against him. Here's my argument against him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Have a nice day.